supongo que los planes de vida del alma se pueden complicar mucho, porque el hecho de que uno tome en su libre albedrío una decisión y decida ir por otro sitio no repercute solo sobre el mismo, sino también sobre muchas almas que tienen relación con ello. Realmente puede crearse pues un cuadro muy complejo de gestionar o de comprender.
It is very complex, but this is something that is accounted for in the flow chart that we talked about, all the series of backup plans that are put in place. So there's a channel of consciousness known as Abraham that's very popular in the United States. I don't know if it's popular here, but Abraham talks about the metaphor of another boat. So the story Abraham uses is, imagine that you are on an island and you want to take a boat to leave the island. So you're running down to the pier and the boat is pulling out just as you're running down there. And you're calling, wait for me, and they don't hear you and the boat leaves. And you get down to the pier and you think, oh no, I missed the boat, I'll never be able to get off the island now. Well, Abraham says, no, that's not true, because there will be another boat. And if you miss that one, there's another boat, and another boat, and another boat, and another boat. There's always another boat. The other boats are the backup plans that your soul put in place before you came into body. So if you choose not to marry somebody, there will be another boat, another person for you, another person for that person. It may take a while to manifest in the physical plane, but there's always another option, another opportunity to do what you came here to do, to learn what you came here to learn. If that were not the case, there would be no point in being here, because so many people would be unable to fulfill their pre-birth intentions.
¿Hay algún tipo también, aparte de los diseños individuales, algún diseño colectivo para la humanidad, ¿no? Es decir, una humanidad puede decidir crecer como espiritualmente a una, o incluso decidir colectivamente su autoextinción. ¿Cómo podemos explicar desde el punto de vista del plan de vida de cada alma esta situación en que nos encontramos ahora de haber hecho tanto daño a la tierra o a la naturaleza, ¿no? Porque supongo que esto no debió estar planificado antes de nacer, este desbarajuste, o tal vez sí.
I think what the collective is doing is ascending in vibration. I think we're in a stage of tremendous increase or ascension in vibration or frequency. So the work that you are doing in the interviews that you do, and the work that I do in researching books like El Plan de tu Alma, El Don de tu Alma, the work that many people are doing now in the world is part of a much larger plan to help humanity rise in vibration. As I understand it, there are some plans in place for very large-scale events that affect many people. For example, you might remember that a number of years ago there was a tsunami that hit Southeast Asia, and there were about 100,000 people who were killed in that natural disaster. My understanding is that those 100,000 souls said before they were born, we would like planet Earth to be at a certain frequency by a certain point in linear time. And if it looks as though the planet is not going to get there, we agree to give our lives in a large-scale natural disaster, because we know that the result of that disaster will be a worldwide outpouring of love and compassion towards Southeast Asia. And you might remember that's exactly what happened. After those 100,000 people died, the governments of the world put aside their differences and they cooperated to funnel tremendous amounts of aid into Southeast Asia. That funneling of aid to that part of the world on such a large scale, that massive outpouring of love and compassion, raised the frequency of the planet to exactly where those 100,000 souls wanted it to be. So there are plans in place that go well beyond just an individual's life, where you have 100,000 souls or more in some cases cooperating to bring about certain things in the world. It's done on a very large scale.
¿Cree que es en algún sentido especial la característica o el rol de las almas que hacen algo que cambia de algún modo la historia del mundo? ¿Y qué pasaría si esas almas no hiciesen eso?
Well, I want to say first, I think every soul, every personality is special. It's like snowflakes. Every snowflake is unique. But having said that, there are certain highly evolved beings, and I think there have been many of them, who have had incarnations on Earth. We know only a few as famous individuals like Jesus or Buddha or Mohammed, but I think there have been many anonymous masters over centuries who are incarnations of very highly evolved, ascended masters, and they come here on Earth to have a big energetic impact. They are bringing in more love, more light than the average soul is capable of. And they have a pre-birth plan to do it in a way that will have a huge impact on the world. As I understand it, for example, Jesus' pre-birth plan was to be crucified as he was. That was all part of a plan. And it was part of a plan for him to be betrayed. And the soul who betrayed him, Judas, on the other side is a soul that he loves very much and who loves him very much. So in service to his plan, Judas agreed before either he or Jesus were born to play this role of betraying him so that the crucifixion could come about. This is a very common type of life plan where a soul will agree to play a negative role, but in this case it's done, and in all cases, it's done to bring about a positive result in the long run. Without Judas's role, it's possible that Jesus might not have been crucified, and then his story, his life, would not have had the tremendous emotional impact that it's had on the world.
Es muy curioso esto de hacer una acción que en la Tierra consideraríamos punible como por amor, porque en el otro plano se puede haber planificado con esta intención amorosa, pero una vez estamos aquí, se comete esa acción no a partir del amor, y esto es curioso, ¿no?
Well, it's confusing in that it makes it almost impossible from the perspective of the personality to know with any degree of certainty, is this negative action part of a pre-birth plan or is it not? Is it coming from a fear-based decision on the part of the personality that was not part of a pre-birth plan? You have both, and it's very difficult to tell what is really going on. And this is why I say a number of times in El Plan de tu Alma and El Don de tu Alma that we really cannot judge anybody else because we have no idea what was planned, what was not planned. You can't tell from the action itself if it's part of a larger pre-birth plan or a free will decision on the part of the personality that was not part of the plan. And since we don't know, it's not possible to judge. You know, in order to, even if we wanted to judge, in order to judge fairly, you would have to have complete and perfect information about everybody's pre-birth plan. Well, the average person doesn't even know what their own pre-birth plan is, let alone what somebody else's is. So it's simply not possible to judge.
Okay, Rob, we have talked about so many things. Hemos hablado de muchas cosas. No sé si te gustaría añadir algo para finalizar.
I think the thought that I would like to leave your viewers with is that, you know, as I understand it, Earth is not literally the most difficult place to have an incarnation, but it is one of the most difficult. And there are many, many beings who know that there would be value to coming into a lifetime here, but they don't have the courage to do it. It takes a tremendous amount of courage to plan a life on Earth, and even more courage, I think, to execute the life plan once you're here in body. So as I understand it, you know, when a lifetime is over, the fact that you had an incarnation on Earth, it becomes part of what is called your energy signature. You know how generals in the military have that wall of medals plastered across their chest? Well, when you have a lifetime on Earth, it's like you've pinned a little medal there energetically that says you were on Earth. And so after the lifetime is over, as you travel around the universe doing whatever you choose to do, other souls see in your energy signature that you went to Earth, and their attitude is something along the lines of, you went to Earth? Oh. And you know, they're tremendously impressed. There is a lot of honor and respect and admiration given to those who had the courage to come here. So I would say to all of your viewers You know, when you have that moment of low self-esteem, that moment of wondering what your life is all about, maybe even that moment of wishing that you could go back to the other side, this is the moment to remember who you really are, a tremendously, tremendously courageous being who had the courage to leave a realm of love and light and peace and joy to come here to experience challenges in order to grow, in order to evolve. It takes tremendous courage to do that.
Una cosita más, un apunte más. Si estamos despistados, no sabemos qué hacer con nuestra vida ni cuál puede ser el plan de nuestra alma, ¿qué nos puedes recomendar hacer?
The single most powerful way to learn what your life plan is a form of hypnosis, and this is what I do in my private practice as a hypnotist. It's called a between lives soul regression. What happens in a between lives regression is that you go to talk to a group of beings known as the Council of Elders. These are the very wise, loving, and highly evolved beings who oversee the cycle of reincarnation on Earth. They know everything about you, every past life you've had, and also the plan for your current lifetime. So if you get in front of the Council of Elders, this is potentially a life-changing experience because they can answer literally every question you have about your life and what it means. There's a lot of information on my website at yoursoulsplan.com. The sessions are usually conducted by Skype or telephone, and they can be done with a translator as well. So I would invite anyone who is interested in learning about your life plan, go to yoursoulsplan.com, read about the Between Lives Soul Regression. I would be honored to work with you.
Eso es interesante, es como una especie de meditación sentados.
Well, it's similar to meditation, but quite a bit more involved. It's usually a 4-hour session. Most people do it lying down. And it takes people to a very deep trance state, which is what you need in order to talk with the Council of Elders. But truly a life-changing experience.
Okay. Muchísimas gracias, Rob.
It's an honor to be here.
Por haber atendido.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gracias.